The secret lies not in begging or pleading, but in assuming. When you act as if you already own everything, you call it into being. You are not waiting for the world to give you permission. You are not seeking approval from others. You are not asking if you're worthy. You are knowing, and in that knowing, everything bends to your inner conviction. Imagination is the beginning and the end of all things. What you dare to assume in the silence of your mind becomes the structure of your world. When you walk as though it's already yours, the world reflects that walk. It does not challenge you, it conforms to you. This is not arrogance. This is faith expressed through action. It is the deep understanding that everything you seek already exists within you, and that it is only waiting for you to lay claim to it by embodying it. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You attract not by pleading, but by radiating. If you want abundance, act as one who is already rich. Speak from the place of ownership. Dress, move, and breathe as though your desires are not somewhere out there, but right here, manifesting through you. To act as if is to live in the end. It is to think from the state, not of the state. Don't ask how. That's the realm of the visible. Your job is to live from the unseen, to know that your imagination is the only reality. Walk into the room as if it belongs to you. Speak as if every door is already open. Carry yourself as though the entire universe is conspiring in your favor, because it is. When your inner conversations change, your outer world must follow. Stop rehearsing lack, fear, or doubt. Instead, rehearse the fulfillment of your desires. Imagine the applause. Feel the texture of success. Taste the reality of vision. Every time you assume it's already yours, you rewrite your future. You are not a beggar at the gates of life. You are the creator. You are the operant power. What you accept as true becomes your law. So accept greatness. Accept wholeness. Accept that you already own the keys to your own kingdom, and then walk like it. Think like it, love like it. Assumption is the very foundation of creation. It is the act of accepting something as true, not because of external proof, but because you choose to believe it. So when you assume a thing to be real, you give it life within you, and once something is alive in that consciousness, it must by law find expression in the external world. The key to this truth lies in understanding that life does not happen to you, it flows through you. Every event, every encounter, every circumstance is drawn into your experience by the assumptions you carry within. To assume is not to wish, it is not to hope or to fantasize. Assumption is deeper, it is silent, firm, and constant. When you assume something, you no longer question whether or not it will happen. You live as though it already has. This inner certainty is the creative act. The moment you assume you already possess what you desire, you enter a new state of consciousness. That state becomes the new center from which your life unfolds. The world outside you becomes a mirror, and it reflects back to you the beliefs you hold without effort or force. There is no need to fight the world, no need to strive or manipulate circumstances. You need only assume. If you believe you are successful and you carry yourself in thought and feeling as one who is already successful, then success will meet you in the world. It cannot do otherwise. You do not wait for the evidence to change before you believe. You believe, and then the evidence changes. This is the reversal of ordinary thinking, and it is why most people remain stuck. They wait to see before they believe, never realizing that it is the act of believing that causes the seeing. Assumption is created because it is rooted in imagination, and imagination is the spiritual center of your being. It is not a childish fantasy, but the divine ability to create reality from within. When you imagine yourself in a certain way, healthy, joyful, wealthy, free, and you accept that image as true, you are planting the seed of that reality in the fertile soil of consciousness. Continue to water that seed with attention, and it must grow. The world cannot deny a man who refuses to let go of his assumption. This is why acting as if is so powerful. When you act as if you own everything, you align your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors with a reality where you already have all that you desire. You walk differently, you speak differently, you think differently. You no longer ask questions from the standpoint of lack, but from the standpoint of ownership. You do not look to others for validation because within you the answer is settled. The assumption has taken root. You are no longer trying to become, you simply are. There is a mystical power in this. Life responds to confidence. The moment you dare to live from a higher state, the world begins to shift. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear where there were none. Solutions come with ease, not because the world has changed on its own, but because you have changed your position within it. You have assumed a new identity, and that identity calls forth a new world. The reason this works is because consciousness is the only reality. Everything in your life is the outplaying of your state of mind. You are not a victim of chance, you are not at the mercy of luck or fate, you are the cause. An assumption is the mechanism by which you create. Every time you assume something, you are declaring to the universe, this is true for me. And the universe, being impersonal and responsive, says yes, even when your senses show the opposite, even when there is no evidence of change. You persist in your assumption, you do not waver, you do not let the appearance of things talk you out of your truth. You stay faithful to the unseen because you know that what is seen is only a shadow of past assumption. If you want something new, you must make a new assumption and remain loyal to it. There is a stillness that comes with this understanding. You no longer need to hustle or strive. You move from a place of inner knowing. You speak with quiet authority. Your actions flow from certainty, not desperation. You are not trying to get, you are allowing yourself to receive what already belongs to you in the realm of consciousness. This is why assumption is so liberating. It frees you from the chains of the visible world. It releases you from the idea that you are subject to conditions. You become a master of your inner world, and the outer world must conform. When you live from your assumption long enough, it hardens into fact. People will say, it was luck or coincidence. They will not see the long hours you spend living in the end, walking in faith, thinking from your desire. It's not about pretending or faking it. It's about aligning your inner world with the truth you choose. When you act as if you already own everything, you are declaring to yourself and to the universe that you are ready. You are stepping into your role as the creator. You are no longer seeking permission to exist fully. You are being who you truly are, and that truly is the secret. Not effort, not struggle, not waiting, just assumption, quiet, steady, unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, that you are already it, that you already own it, and in time your world will show you what you've been assuming all along. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. This truth is simple, yet it holds profound power. Wanting is rooted in lack. It declares that something is missing. It creates a separation between you and your desire. To want is to place your dream in the future, always out of reach, always just a little beyond where you are now. But being, that is different. Being is presence. Being is wholeness. Being is the quiet declaration that what you seek is already alive within you. The world responds not to your desires, but to your state of consciousness. If you are constantly affirming that you lack something, you will experience more of that lack. You may work hard, you may pray fervently, but if your inner state is one of unworthiness or absence, your efforts will only reinforce that reality. Creation does not begin with action. It begins with identity. It begins with the feeling of already having, already being. When you become the version of yourself who already has what you once wanted, everything changes. You speak differently. You walk into rooms with a different energy. You no longer chase, you attract, not because you're doing anything outwardly different, but because your inner world has shifted. You have moved into the frequency of the desired state. And when you do that, your world cannot help but rearrange itself around you. You cannot become rich while identifying as someone who is poor. You cannot experience love while seeing yourself as unlovable. You cannot attract peace while maintaining a self-concept that is rooted in anxiety and fear. You must become the thing you seek in thought, in feeling, in imagination. Only then does it find its way into your life effortlessly, not through struggle, but through resonance. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about choosing the truth you will live from. Reality is fluid, shaped by consciousness. The version of you that already has what you desire exists now within your imagination. The moment you decide to embody that version, to think from that version, to feel from that version, you collapse the distance between the dream and the reality. You no longer seek it, you become it. To become is not a performance, it is an inward shift. It's not about pretending in front of others, it's about aligning yourself with the experience of already being. When you say, I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. I am healthy, I am abundant, I am loved. These are not affirmations for the future, they are present tense declarations of identity, and whatever follows I am becomes your lived experience. Most people spend their lives trying to earn or prove their worth. They believe that once they achieve something, they will finally feel worthy. But this reverses the process. You must feel worthy first. You must embody the success, the joy, the love before it can show up in the outer world. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. You are the cause. This is why inner work is the real work. Changing your thoughts, shifting your emotions, revising the story you tell yourself, these are the acts that reshape your world. It may not always be easy. You may have to challenge years of programming and conditioning. You may have to let go of beliefs that have defined you for a long time. But the moment you begin to shift your identity, you begin to shift your life. You don't need to force the outcome. You don't need to obsess over the how. You only need to ask, who would I be if I already had what I wanted? How would I feel? How would I walk? How would I speak? And then begin to move from that place, begin to think from that version of yourself. As you do, your external world will mirror your internal world. This is why some people seem to receive with ease while others struggle endlessly. It's not about luck, it's about alignment. It's about being a match to what you desire, not through effort, but through embodiment. The one who knows they are loved doesn't chase love. The one who knows they are successful doesn't need to prove anything. Their world simply reflects back their certainty. This is the power of assumption. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not hoping, it is done, it is settled, and the world rearranges itself to match that state. But you must persist, you must hold that state regardless of appearances. Even when nothing seems to be happening, you stay faithful to your new identity. You continue to walk in the end. When you embody what you want to receive, you enter the vibrational frequency of that reality. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency, and the universe, like a perfect mirror, reflects whatever state you occupy. It doesn't judge, it doesn't question, it simply reflects. So the question is never, how do I get what I want? The real question is, who am I being? When you change who you are being, you change what you are receiving. Wanting, begging, chasing, all of it falls away. You no longer look outside of yourself for validation. You no longer need to manipulate or strive. You recognize that your world is you, pushed out. And by shifting your inner state, the outer must follow. This is the key to effortless creation, not wishing but being. Not reaching but claiming, not hoping one day it will be yours, but knowing it is already done. You walk as if, you speak as if, you live as if, and then what you once desired shows up not as a surprise, but as a natural reflection of who you have become. To walk in the end is to live from the state of the wish fulfilled. It means that instead of looking at your current reality and reacting to it, you deliberately turn inward and assume that what you desire is already yours. You do not beg for it. You do not plead. You do not ask how or when. You simply become one with the experience of having it now. You do not wait for external validation, you walk in the end. This is not about fantasy or escapism, it is a creative act. It is using the one gift you have been given in full measure, imagination. Imagination is not idle, it is not a waste of time. Imagination is the portal through which all things enter your life. Every great achievement, every healed relationship, every transformation begins as an inner image. It begins in the unseen, and when you sustain that image and embody the feeling that it is already real, life reshapes itself to make it so. There is a world within you that is far more powerful than the world you see with your eyes. The outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state. If you want to change your circumstances, you must first change your assumptions, and to do that, you must learn to live in the end. Not just think about it or talk about it, but feel from it. This is the secret of effortless creation. To live in the end means you stop looking for signs, you stop waiting for proof, you stop checking to see if it's working, because when you are truly in the end, there is nothing left to wait for. You are already there. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. You carry yourself differently. You walk with the peace of someone who knows that everything they desire is already done. You might be surrounded by circumstances that contradict your vision. That does not matter. Circumstances are dead things. They are echoes of your previous states of consciousness. Do not give them power. Do not let them dictate how you feel. Instead, go within. Close your eyes, enter the scene of your fulfilled desire. See what you would see, hear what you would hear, feel what you would feel, and do it not as something distant, but as something happening now, right now. This is how you build a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Most people get stuck because they live in the middle. They visualize for a moment, then go back to worrying. They affirm something, then immediately look for evidence. They try to create from effort instead of imagination. They bounce between states and never commit to the end. But when you truly walk in the end, you dwell there, you plant yourself in that state and refuse to be moved by appearances. Walking in the end is not just about what you think, it's about what you feel. Feeling is the secret ingredient. You must feel the reality of the unseen as if it were more real than what your senses report. That feeling becomes the magnetic force that draws your desire into form. It's not about intensity of emotion, it's about naturalness. The more natural it feels to have your desire, the faster it must externalize. Creation is not forced, it flows from assumption. Think about someone who is in love. They don't need to be reminded that they are in love, they live in it. It colors their thoughts, their actions, their expectations. They carry that state with them and the world responds to it. That's what it means to live in the end. You carry the inner knowing of fulfillment with you wherever you go. You stop asking when it will happen, because in your world, it already has. Imagination is the workshop of reality. What you imagine with feeling, you bring into being. And when you imagine the end with full acceptance, the middle, the how, the timing, the steps, takes care of itself. Life moves to fill in the details. People show up, opportunities appear, events unfold, not by your effort, but by the natural outworking of your inner state. You are not the doer, you are the thinker. You assume the end and allow it to unfold. This is why faith is so important. Not blind faith, but faith in the unseen reality you have chosen to accept as true. You must walk by this inner vision, not by what your senses report. Your senses will always reflect your past beliefs, but your imagination holds the power to reshape the future. You must persist in the assumption, even when nothing appears to be happening, because something always is. Walking in the end means speaking as if your desire is done, thinking as if your desire is done, feeling as if your desire is done. You no longer ask, when will it happen? You say, it is already mine. You no longer wonder if you're worthy. You know that you are. You've claimed it, and in doing so, the universe must respond. It has no choice. It always brings you what you are being. This is not about faking it, it's about being it. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not pretending. You are aligning. you are tuning your entire being to the frequency of your desire, and just like a radio tuned to a specific station, you begin to receive that frequency in your world. It becomes normal, it becomes expected, it becomes inevitable. And when it shows up, it will feel so natural, so obvious that you will barely be surprised, because you've been living in the end for so long that the manifestation is just the final scene of what you already knew was true. That is the mark of successful creation, not surprise, but familiarity. You recognize it because you've lived it already. If you want change, begin now, not by forcing the external, but by shifting the internal. Go within. See yourself already in possession of what you desire, feel it, know it, rest in it, and from that place walk through the world. The outer will catch up. The seen will align with the unseen. The end will become your beginning, and all because you dared to live from the end rather than toward it. All things exist. Everything you could ever desire, dream of, or imagine already exists in a higher dimension. You are not here to create something out of nothing. You are here to become aware of what already is. There is no lack in the infinite. There is no competition. There is no waiting. There is only alignment. When you realize that all states of being, all realities, all versions of yourself already exist, you begin to understand that you do not need to struggle or chase after anything. You simply select. Creation is finished. This is the foundation of true manifestation. You are not trying to make something happen. You are becoming the person for whom it has already happened. Every version of you, healthy, wealthy, free, in love, at peace, already exists right now. These versions are not imaginary. They are real, fully alive in the realm of consciousness. You don't need to earn them. You don't need to fight for them. You only need to occupy them with your attention and feeling. Your imagination is the doorway through which you access these infinite versions. When you imagine an outcome, you are not inventing it, you are tuning into it. You are bringing it from potential into felt experience. The longer you dwell in that experience, the more solid it becomes in your external world. Life doesn't give you what you want, it reflects who you are being. And who you are being is determined by what state you are inhabiting. States are like garments. You can take one off and put another one on. If you have worn the garment of lack, shame, or fear, you can put it down. You can choose a new identity, one that aligns with your desires. And when you wear that new state long enough, when it feels natural, when you walk in it, speak from it, feel through it, it must externalize. You cannot experience what you have not claimed. The moment you say, I am, you are declaring your identity. I am abundant, I am chosen, I am healed. These are not affirmations to make something happen. They are acknowledgements of what already is. The version of you who has it all is not far away, is not in the future. It's a state you can enter now through belief and feeling. This understanding dissolves all desperation. When you know something already exists, you don't chase it, you align with it. You walk differently. You no longer ask when or how. You trust the process because you know it's already done. You have entered the timeline where your desire is fulfilled, and you remain there, not because you see it with your eyes, but because you know it in your soul. Awareness is the key. You must become more aware of the state you are currently in and make a deliberate shift to the one you prefer. This requires mental discipline. It means observing your reactions, your assumptions, your inner dialogue. Are you reacting from the old self or responding from the new self? Are you affirming limitation or embodying abundance? Every time you imagine something with feeling, you are creating a new path through which that reality can flow into your life. You may not see immediate results. That's irrelevant. Creation is finished, and what you have claimed in consciousness must come to pass unless you interfere with fear or contradiction. The seed has been planted. Your job is to persist. Persistence is not about effort. It's about dwelling in the state long enough for it to become your new normal. You don't visit your desire, you live in it, you wake up in it, you fall asleep in it, you carry it with you as if it were already here, because in truth, it is. What seems like a delay is only the time it takes for your outer world to catch up to your inner conviction. There are no limits except the ones you impose. No one is withholding your good. The universe is not testing you. You are not waiting for permission. You are selecting realities through your attention and embodying them through your feeling. This is the creative process. This is how reality bends to the will of the one who knows. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too far. Nothing is beyond reach. Everything is available now. The only question is, are you willing to believe it's yours? Are you willing to dwell in the end, to assume the feeling, to let go of your attachment to the present condition? You do not change things by fighting them. You change them by moving your awareness. This is not theory, this is law. What you consent to as true becomes your experience. If you accept limitation, you live in limit. If you accept abundance, you live in abundance. The world does not impose itself upon you, you impress yourself upon the world. It reflects what you have accepted as real within. So when doubt creeps in, when appearances seem unchanged, remind yourself that all things exist. You are not creating, it is already created. You are not hoping, it is already done. You are not striving, you are allowing. Your only task is to remain faithful to the unseen reality you have claimed. Everything else is movement toward its embodiment. In the silence of your mind, imagine the scene that implies your desire has already been fulfilled. See it clearly, feel it naturally, let it sink into your being. Do it not as a ritual, but as a realization. Know that what you are experiencing internally is not fantasy, it is truth. And truth, once assumed, must be made flesh. You are the operant power. Nothing is withheld from you. Everything you seek is seeking you. Every longing you have is a calling toward a state that already exists. You are not lacking, you are simply unaware of your fullness. The moment you awaken to this truth, the moment you begin to live from the end and feel the reality of your wish fulfilled, the gates of manifestation swing wide open. All things exist. Your dream is real, your desire is valid, your chosen state is already alive within the timeless now. Step into it, wear it, feel it, and let the world mirror back the truth you've dared to accept. The outer world is not separate from the inner world. What you see with your eyes is merely a reflection of what you accept and entertain within your consciousness. The events, people, and circumstances in your life are the echo of your inner state. They have no power of their own. They only mirror what you've assumed to be true about yourself, others, and life. When you understand this, you stop trying to fix things out there and begin shifting your attention to in here. Because it's within the unseen world of your thoughts, emotions, assumptions, and beliefs that your true power lies. You don't change your life by reacting to appearances. You change your life by altering your internal assumptions and remaining loyal to a new idea of yourself. It may feel uncomfortable at first. It may feel like pretending, but what you are really doing is choosing to see with spiritual vision instead of physical eyes. You are saying, I will no longer be defined by what I see, I will be defined by what I believe. This is the act of living in the end, of choosing the state of already having, already being, already experiencing what your heart longs for. The outside world has no ability to contradict your inner reality unless you allow it to. You give things power by your reaction to them. If someone disrespects you and you feel unworthy, you have agreed with that outer appearance. But if you remain still and inwardly reaffirm your worthiness, you disarm the reflection and send a new instruction into consciousness. The mirror must obey. It always returns what you give to it. Most people look at their lives and say, this is who I am because this is what I have. But that's an illusion. You don't have a life. You project a life. The life you're experiencing right now is the result of old assumptions. You are living in a world of effects, not causes. And once you stop giving authority to circumstances, you can step into your true creative role. You can begin to live from cause, from imagination, from a vision of yourself that is higher, freer, richer, and more aligned with your divine nature. No external condition can remain in place without your consent. If something persists in your life, it is only because it has found a home in your consciousness. You may not be consciously thinking about it, but deep down you've accepted it as part of your identity, and so it stays. The moment you disidentify from it, when you say, "This is not who I am," and shift your awareness to a new state, the old must fall away, because the mirror cannot reflect what is no longer there. This is not done through force. It's not about controlling your thoughts every second or trying to be positive all the time. It's about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled so consistently and so deeply that it becomes your natural state of being. When your inner conversations, your emotions, your mental images all align with the end you've chosen, you don't need to chase results. The results come to you. They must. There is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. Once you decide that you are someone new and persist in that identity, the world reshapes itself around that decision, because the world is not fixed. It is fluid. It bends to the state you occupy. So if you want to see change in your world, begin by asking, who am I being right now? What version of myself am I embodying in this moment? Am I reacting from fear or responding from love? Am I rehearsing lack or radiating abundance? This shift doesn't require effort. It requires faith. Faith in the unseen. Faith in the power of your assumption. Faith in the divine intelligence that responds to your inner state. If you continue to see yourself as the one who already has, already is, already lives the dream you've imagined, life has no choice but to reflect that. It is law. This is why acting as if is not pretending, it's aligning. When you walk like you own everything, it's not arrogance, it's awareness. Awareness that all things are yours and always have been, because all things come from within. You don't need the world to give you permission. You are not a beggar in life. You are the cause of life. And when you truly grasp that, you stop waiting, you stop hoping, you begin being. The moment you take your attention off the outer and place it fully on the inner, you take control. You stop letting circumstances dictate how you feel, and you start letting your chosen state dictate how circumstances unfold. You become a master of your reality, not because you control every detail, but because you control the essence, and essence always shapes form. So when you are faced with contradiction, when the world shows you something that seems opposite to what you desire, don't collapse. Don't argue with it. Don't try to fix it. Return to the state. Re-enter the vision. Remain unmoved. Because the outer world is slow, it's a delayed echo, and if you keep reacting to the echo, you never move beyond the past. But if you hold your ground in the unseen, the echo changes. It must, because the source of it has changed. You are not here to fight the world. You are here to transcend it, not by escaping it, but by changing your perception of it. And that begins with the understanding that everything you experience is coming from you, not as punishment, not as reward, but as reflection. If you want more love, be love. If you want more wealth, assume wealth. If you want more peace, dwell in peace. Don't wait for the world to give you these things. Give them to yourself within, and the world will follow. You are not asking for miracles. You are the miracle. When you shift your inner state, when you stop reacting and start assuming, when you detach from what is and embrace what could be, you step into your true role as the one who commands the reflection. Not with force, but with conviction, with quiet confidence, with unshakable inner vision. Your outer world is a mirror. Change the reflection by changing what you are reflecting. Withdraw your attention from appearances. Withdraw your emotional energy from what you don't want, and pour your consciousness into what you do want. See it, feel it, live in it. Let it be more real to you than the facts. Let it become your dwelling place, because once it's real within, it has no choice but to become real without.